It's amazing that all you do is ask questions and you clear that space so beautifully by just listening. And it's so non-judgmental and so evident from your face that you just feel secure sharing whatever you want to share with you. Now, when you got into this space initially, Prema, and I'm sure you must have met difficult people as well, sarcastic people as well. So, as much as people were open to it, people weren't open to it. Has the 10-year journey, 10 years plus journey that you've been on it in India shifted to a transition that you can see with people being more open, easy to talk to, opening up far more easy than they did in the initial part of your career?
Yes, actually, I can say yes to that. And it is good to see that that transition um, is slow to happen, but it's happening, right?
Mm.
And lot of, and I think I have also started saying um, some things to my clients which will help them hear that this is not a stigma. I think I have changed my language, is what I have to say. I cannot necessarily, when you want to change, you make the change. I think there is a saying that
Yeah. Be the
uh,
change
be
that you
the
want to.
change you want to see. And I think I have started changing the language, the way I say it, the
Hmm.
way they can hear it.
Hmm.
And so I think it's a two-way process.
Hmm.
Um, Not using language with destigmatizes this whole thing.
Yes.
To say you're just coming to talk to me, you're just airing your feelings with me. So it doesn't mean you are mentally ill, or you know. And more recently, I have also started doing organizational sharing of what is the meaning of mental health, and why do you need to, and where are these resources, when do you need to, and when do you know what is the right time, or so all of that. So this has been my recent goal to move it forward and take it forward. It's like my 5-year goal to um, channel I channel my energy to um, psychoeducate uh, as many people as possible, as many organizations as possible, and so that we do not uh, we do not seek help only during crisis. We
Yeah.
seek help just before crisis.
Oh, that's so beautifully put. And I like that term, psychoeducate. So now that we are on this platform, where can you go back and explain in very simple terms what is mental health? How do you identify and how do you know it's just before the crisis and not during crisis?
Uh, so simply put, I would say you are in good mental health when you're able to get up in the morning, right? Dress up, see purpose, and you're out in the world functioning, right? And I think if repeatedly there is a dysfunction of any sort, um, either you identify it in yourself or somebody else identifies it in you, it means it's time to look at it, address it, and at least find out what it is without having a stigma associated with it. I mean, it's as simple as if you have a swollen finger, let's say, and if someone saw that, right, and they said, hey, what is this? You're not going to say, no, 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 I'm not going to look at it. You'll say, yeah, what is this? Let me go and check it out, right? I would really hope that we get there one day where we do not hide behind saying, I don't want to look at it, and then arrive at it in a state of crisis. And then feeling that, I have this feeling of doom, and, it becomes so, you become so dysfunctional at that point. And then it really becomes this. Um, it becomes the talk of everybody in the house, just what you did not want. And that is what causes the stigma, and that's what actually stops you from moving forward and get the help you want.
That's so true. That's so true. And talking about mental health now, this month, May, is the month of mental health awareness. So, throughout this month, people do talks and have talks in organizations around mental health awareness. But we're also parallelly seeing layoffs and burnouts happening, and people are suddenly wondering what's happened to them. They take off, they move away from a working career because they're not sure whether that is what they are meant for. And layoffs happen when you think you're at your peak. Though words like depression are used loosely, it is very important for people to know that it's not only during the month of May, but throughout the year. What is missing in relationships today is conversations. So we are connected on social media. We have thousands of followers or lakhs of followers or millions, but we are lonely inside. So, as somebody who sees people day in and day out, the irony of this truth is something which is shocking to me as an outsider and not a specialist in that area, but as somebody in that space. What would you tell people that they need to do basically to address this in their lives?
Hmm. I need a moment to think. So during COVID,
Hmm.
I lost a very dear friend of mine. She was almost a soulmate, I would say. Mm, and it happened so fast. Like I could not talk to her because she had gone into the ICU, and so they had the oxygen mask. And I hadn't, for some reason, also talked to her before that because so much was happening and there was a distance between me and her. She was in a different district and I'm here. Um, and so she was alive yesterday and she just passes away today. It was like that. And I was not able to talk to her. And I was not able to have a closure with her. I was not able to say bye to her. And uh, I think back to that moment and I feel what was that? I keep asking, what is that loss that I'm dealing with? And I think what I would like to, if I have words to say, but there's so much of emotion there. But if I have words to say to that, I feel I I would have, and I want to say to people, if we were to have every interaction as though there was the only one, right? Um, make that one. And if you have in mind that you want to connect to somebody, uh, you don't have to wait. Just do it at that time, right? And have it and have that conversation as though today was the only day available for it. And that's what I keep going back to with her. I I think that has been very transformational for me. Uh, during our times of lows and highs, I think we tend to wait too much to reach out, and sometimes we wait way too much, or we don't at all. And the question of why we wait is I cannot say, but what I can say is that if you reached out, there's a whole world out there, and also it feels like it can, and if you dealt with it like that was the only day, it seems to be also so fulfilling. It has, without losing any, without any loose ends, it just feels like um, So I don't know if I answered the question. I kind of went around, but that's how I feel.
No, that's very true because that is something that I realized when I lost my mother as well. And it was just before COVID that post her passing away, there were a lot of people who called in and shared why she's special to them. And each one had a specific incident. And I always was thinking, had you told this to her, it would have made such a huge difference to her because she would have known how she made that difference. Because those were instances that she never shared with us, which means she also had forgotten it. So if the same people who shared it with me had shared it with her, and especially as you grow old, I think it makes a world of a difference to people to see how they have made a difference in your life. You're so right.
True,
And
and it's such a motivator,
yeah, yeah,
right? I mean, imagine we get up every day and we get a message from a friend saying, oh, you are such an inspiration for this.
yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, really? I'm gonna do more of this. So